Hello lovelies, to at long last a new video. So kids happen, life happens, it's been chaotic. I've had two sick boys, it's Wednesday, I'm hoping the little one will go back to school tomorrow, but it's just been hectic and I really haven't had a chance to do anything and I've been so tired myself. So anyway, enough of that. I've been meaning to get a new video up and I know this one's at least a week overdue, but you know, better late than never. So I did get a chance to play the other night and I just wanted to slap some paint on my art journal. So that's exactly what I did. I used a few different techniques to apply my paint. I started with my brayer, and these are just some Flutterby paints that I got at Retreat. And they're in these really cool little bottles. And yeah, they're just really good for applying paint to a page. So I started with this greeny blue. It is my favourite. And I'm happy to say that I just got a new bottle of it. And then I went over with a lighter blue. You know me, blue tends to be my favourite colour and my favourite colours to work with. And then I try really hard to step away from those colours. And then I always end up with pinks. But anyway, so I'm using my hand to apply some paint as well now. And then I think I'm going to bring in another colour. I think this is where the pink comes in. And yeah, I love using my brayer. My brayer is one of my favourite tools. And I tend to use it a lot. I just like the way it looks more than using a paintbrush or, you know, anything else. It's my favourite way at the moment. So then, because I just felt like playing with paint, I got out some of my white paint and I'm just using my paintbrush just to make some marks. Nothing too special, just bringing in some white and yeah, just getting some patterns done. You know when you just want to play with paint and a paintbrush and get your hands messy? That's all I really wanted to do. I didn't really have anything in mind. It wasn't really planned, as most of my pages aren't. In the end, I even end up using my finger to apply some paint. But yeah, so I'm just making some X's. I'm not very good with the mark making. I tend to get carried away or not do enough. So I think I'm just trying to really work on that. I have the mark making tools, but I tend to stick with my finger or a paintbrush. Adding some splatters didn't work very well because I didn't have enough water with my splatters. Whenever I do this, I get covered in paint, so it's always a fun activity. Now, this is where I'm going to bring in my other colour. So I wanted a bit of contrast. I had my blues, so now I'm going in with a shade of pink. That's another Flutterby paint. And I'm just going over using my brayer just to spread that out. Not too much because I didn't want it to blend in with my colours. I wanted it to sit on top of and really stand out. Now my blues and my white are all very dry, so there's going to be no blending or bleeding. But I didn't want to spread out my pink too far because I did just want to have pops of that bold contrast. So now I'm using some new art foamies that I got while I was on retreat. But I picked up the wrong one and I don't like it. So what do? I cover it up and then I pour out too much of my gesso. My gesso was clogged and I got impatient with it and squeezed it too hard and ended up with this big blob of paint. So I decided to use it and decided to turn this into a design feature on my page with these big white bold stripes. So every whoopsie is an opportunity. So even though I had way too much paint and wasn't really sure where I was going with covering up the stamps that I didn't like, in the end, I actually like how it turned out. It sort of brings another element to my page. So even though I didn't like it to start with, I recovered. So keep that in mind, you know, if you don't like something, cover it up and you can always turn it into a new design element. So it just looks like another little mark maker piece on my page. So I was happy with that. So then I'm using the art foam that I was actually looking for with some white paint and just putting that around in a few areas. Because I had more paint left, I decided to just make some more marks with it because my original white marks had been covered by most of my pink and I just wanted to bring some more white in. So I'm just using my finger to splodge around my paint. If you ever need my fingerprints, by all means, go through my art journal because you're bound to get a decent print in there. I use them enough. But this is where I decided to do my focal image or my words for my page, and I'm using a really big Posca paint pen. Sort of died on me halfway. Now I've rarely used this, but I think maybe Will got to it And it's on its way out. So I'm just going with when all else fails, paint it out, because it was just the kind of the mood I was feeling. Now with paint pens, very, very important to make sure that your paint is dry, otherwise you will kill your paint pens, which I've done on many occasions, but I just love paint pens so much I can't not use them. I'm also very impatient, so I've tended to kill a fair few paint pens. I'm fairly certain I didn't kill this one in that sense. It just seems like it's dried out, so yeah, I'm pretty sure Will's gotten to it and used it a little bit. So yeah, but yes, always make sure your paint is very dry before you use paint pens. Very important. So then I'm just going to go back through. See, look, I'm even trying to do splatters and it's not working. So that's how I know it's not quite up to code. I'm pretty sure I'm going to need a new one. So I go back in with my smaller black paint pen just to go over a few areas, because this was all I was really feeling. I just wanted to get some paint on the page. Didn't really care much about a focal image, but this phrase was going through my head, so I thought I'd use it. Splatters aren't quite working even with my littler paint pen, so in the end, I go for the hard stuff, I go for my ink. I have these little pots of white and black ink with the daubers in them, and I just love the way they splatter on the page. I love the big fat splats you get. So that's what I decided to use. I was very happy with that in the end. And then that's going to be it for my page. So I hope you enjoyed this super quick video for my first video back in a while, and I will try very hard to get a new video up in the next few days. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.